Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for joining our free online lesson. My name is Nabil Fikri bin Shaizan, and I'm one of application engineer from Acad System. So for today, I would like to uh, share with you about the AutoCAD Raster Design. So Raster Design is one of the AutoCAD design tool sets, which is included in the 7 tool sets. Right. So for those who don't know about the raster design, so raster design in AutoCAD allow you to convert image from rasters into the CAD software. Right. So basically, if you want, you can convert your printed image or your scanned image rasters into a AutoCAD drawing file, which is the vector. Right, so we would like to go with some of the basic things. We start first with the insert. So we're going to insert the image files inside of AutoCAD, and then we're going to process the image. So, for example, if you have an image with colors and so on, so we're going to process it to match into the AutoCAD background. Right, so once we have that, so of course, so if you're working with a scanned image, so most likely you're going to have to clean up your image because there are some debris. So you can go through with some of the cleanup tools. Right. So and then we have some touch-ups. So whether you want to edit it, so almost the same with the Microsoft Paint. So we're going to go through with that, and then we're going to go with the convert our raster image into vectors, or we can also convert back vector image into raster design. Right? So while using the converting, of course, there's some method that require raster snaps. So we're going to take a look on that as well. Right. So like I said before, raster tool is one of the AutoCAD 7 tool sets. So you needed to install it separately. So once you finish installs, it will install it inside and your AutoCAD, right? So whether you're using vanilla AutoCAD or you're using the AutoCAD Map 3D, it will be installed as a add-on tools. So you can see over here on my tabs, right now I have my raster tools tab that I can choose from here. Right? So you can also choose from on this menu bar over here. Right? So for example, if your menu bar does not show, so you can then this show menu bar, so you can find your rasters. There are some of the things that you can control from here. So whether you want to go to the options, so you can go from here and you can set up your raster design settings from here. So right now we are back into the raster tools. You can see there are tools that are used to control and edit our raster image. So for the raster file itself, I have some of these samples. For example, this, right? So I have some of this scanned image that we're going to use it inside of AutoCAD. Right, so first of all, to insert the image, so you can go to the insert and right over here, and you can click at the insert. And here it will show you some of these available files that you can see from here. So for the raster design, you're only able to open image files. So automatically by default, it will show as all image. Right? So any image that is available, it will be shown over here, including for the Photoshop image as well. Now, right now I'm going to start with my sample one, which is the color one, chapters. I'm going to open this one, and it will show me some of these correction source, which I was setting my image before I entered. So I'm going to go with next. And here I can control the rotation and also the scale. For example, I need to control from here, so I can just enter the value from here. So I'm gonna leave it this one as a default. So I have my sample image from here. Now, when you're using with the raster tools, so one of the things that you might want is that the colors will be almost the same with the AutoCAD, so which is the white and black and white background. So to control that, you can go to the edit over here, and then you can see this process image. So drop down over here, so we have a bunch of things that we can use to control the image view over here. So one of the most important thing, which is the change color depth. Right? And once I click that, so we have three other options over here. So we have index color, so basically just normal colors. So we have grayscale, so this is more like a black and white background, but have some grays like a 70s movies. And the one that you might want to click is the bitonal. So this is what I'm going to do, is that I'm going to convert this image into only two colors, which is either black or white. So I'm going to use bitonal. So you can see that it is now turned into black and white. So only two types of colors, so we can work with our AutoCAD software. So if you choose, for example, grayscale, so it will show you the gray. You might not want this, so better to use bitonal. So this is just a samples on how that we can insert. So going to close this one. And for this case, I'm going to choose one of my sample files. So let's say I'm going to start with this one, foundation. Right. So this is the sample image that I would like to convert this one. Right. So from here, I'm going to choose this one and click open. Now, reason why it is white, because it is scanned from white paper. You can see this is black drawing with the white background over here, and the image was not oriented correctly. So I'm going to go ahead next, and I'm going to correct the rotation. So let's go with -19. So I'm happy with the scales. I'm going to click and finish. So it should appear over here. But you can see it's not actually a mirror correctly. So to edit that, so you can go to the edit over here, and here you can select from the cleanup the mirror. So here I can rotate, so it is oriented or mirrored correctly. Now again, so we're going to go with the previous process, which is translate the color depth. Right, so going to choose only black and white. So I'm going to choose index color, and then I'm going to go back again and choose bitonal. So it's basically only two colors. So of course, we don't want to use this white as a background. So to change that, we can go to the edit under the cleanup. So we have the invert. So basically, it's going to invert the colors. So from white to black and black to white. And you can even see the background of this AutoCAD display grid. So now that we have entered, so we can see some of these problems with our drawings. For example, the angles of this paper were not input correctly, right? So we see some of the debris. So we're going to go ahead to clean first this paper. So first of all, I'm going to rotate this one. So this is basically, there are some angles downwards. So I'm going to rotate to be 0 degree. So to do that, we can go to our cleanup. And here we have this cube, which can use to rotate our image for our raster design. So once I click that, it will ask me to select the base point for the rotation. So I'm going to select from this little point over here. So it will rotate based on from this point. And then it will ask me for the source angles. So which means that I can rotate my paper into an angle correctly. So you can see this is slanted downward. So I'm going to the reference angle here. Right, so we have our reference angles that we're going to change, and then it will ask me for the angle that I want this particular line that I have selected. So I want it to be a 0 degree, so I'm going to press enter as 0. You can see it is now oriented correctly as I want, but you can see some of this still does not actually, so you can see there are some distortion on these lines over here, which I want it to be, rectangles. So for that, we can use rubber sheet to try to extend it to be more correct. So to use rubber sheet easily, so I can use rectangle first as a reference. I'm going to choose from this point. Let's say this will be my image that I want it to be, right? So that I have this rectangle as a reference. So I'm going to go back to my raster tools, and I can select rubber sheets. And from here, I can choose triangles and add points. So this will ask me to select the first point that I needed to change from. So this will be on my paper point over here until to the point that I would like to translate into. So this will be moved over here. Right? So I'm going to choose from here as well until here. So from here, and it will be moved here. So this one is already correct. So I'm going to just double click over here. So first click and then second click. Right. So I have specified 4 of the points that my papers are going to change. So I'm going to press enter. So it's going to give me some coordinate point or destination point that's going to change. And I'm just going to hit OK. It will recalculate and move to the right angle. So you can see, so this is the box over here, is the previous rectangle I choose over here. So I'm going to delete this one. You see our line are much more square correctly, right? Rectangles. Now that we have solved that problem, so we can see there are other things that we can clean up, which is these small particles over here that happen after we scan the paper. So to clean that, we have our cleanup option over here, which is this speckle. So it will remove based on the size that we select. So everything that is lower than that will be removed, right? So I choose these speckles, and then I can select whether I want the entire image or the clip region. So I want to select or remove the entire image. Right? So every size on overall image will be removed. Then I can select the size that I want to remove. So I'm going to choose based on Windows. So basically, any particles which is less than this box are going to be highlighted and are going to be removed. I'm going to press enter, and all of these particles are missing except some of these particles which is bigger than my box that I selected earlier. Right. So this particular box, I can use other options. So now we have touch-ups. Right. So we also have touch-ups. Right. So this one works almost the same with Microsoft Paint. So basically, you can use this one to erase or to draw a new line from here. Right. So you can choose whether I want a square brush or round brush. So let's go with square brush. Right. And then I can just simply erase this particular line over here. Right. I have some of the debris over here, so I can just simply erase. And let's say maybe I want to delete this one, so I can also delete. But let's say I don't really want to delete, but I just want to enlarge this. So I can also use my touch-up to redraw back. So I can toggle the colors. So toggle color over here. So instead of erase, it is now work as a paint tools. Right? So I can change my resize brush over here. Let's say I'm going to make somewhere this big, and I'm going to redraw back this particular line over here. So you can also do that from here. Right. The next thing that you can do from here is that you can also convert this raster lines into a vectors lines, right? So to do that, we can use these vectorized tools that we have on here. So I'm going to choose a better image. So let me start new drawing, and then I'm going to insert. Let's say I'm going to insert these architectural drawings over here. Right, so I'm going to move first these debris couples. Right, so these couples, I'm going to choose the entire image, and I'm going to choose Windows, so particle size. Now, right, so we're going to convert this one into a normal line, right, into an AutoCAD line. So for that, we can use the vectors. Over here, we have several other things that we can choose from here, with the lines, polylines, circles, arcs. So for example, I go with lines. All I need to do is that I can just simply click on the line, click on the other line, and once I'm done, I just press enter, enter again, and it will convert it into a lines, right? And it will remove these rasters drawing from here. So I can use lines, select, select, press enter, enter again. So you can see it is now turned into a vector lines, right? So if you have something like a arc like this, so you can use arc, and it will turn into AutoCAD arc tools, which I can manipulate now. Right? So if you use on the modify here, right? So you cannot actually move this image over here, right? Or you can want to rotate, so we cannot use from here. So once you click, turn it into a vector line, so you can now have a AutoCAD properties that we right? So there are some of these tools that you can choose. And if you want to be automatically select everything that has been included, so you can also use follows, right? So basically choose one, and it will try to highlight some of this area. Just press enter, and it will convert it automatically. Right? So we have primitive, so which I can use it one by one, or I can just simply use follows and just simply convert this particular line. Do that one. So for example, I want to convert this line, so I just click this one, press enter, and it will convert into line. Another thing is, let's say you want to mix, let's say you don't want actually convert it into into vectors, right? So you still want to use as a raster design, for example, you just want to clean up, and then you want to make some changes over here. You can use touch-ups, and you can just simply erase, right? So, for example, is some of these parts over here. Make it bigger. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my normal AutoCAD command, which is I want to create example line and so on, create a new drawing over here. For example, I'm going to create a new door, which is I create from AutoCAD lines. And this particular AutoCAD line, so later on, I would like this particular line to turn into vector, because I want to print it out as a vector. I don't want to completely change sorry, I want to print it out as a rasters. So I can do that by convert this into a raster. So, for example, I have this particular line over here. So I can just simply select and right click and merge vector to raster image. So I'm going to merge. So I'm going to press yes over here. So you can see it is now converted into raster image. For example, I can also enter block. For example, I insert. So let's say search for some of these available block. So I have chair that I would like to enter. So let me resize this one. Here, so let's say I put my chair over here. In this particular chair, I would like to convert into merge. So I can just right click, merge vector to raster image. And do I want to delete the vectors? Yes. So it's now turned into a raster image. Other than that, you can also use the raster tools to convert this particular text over here, right, into a vector lines or the AutoCAD line. Right. For example, let me choose one image which has some text right over here. For example, this image that I have over here, and I want to convert this raster text into normal AutoCAD text. So I can use from the vectors, right? So the ORC over here recognize text. And first of all, I needed to specify the points and the angle. So I'm going to be, angle will be 0 degrees. And here I can just simply select the overall line. And oops, try again, this text. And it will translate this particular raster's text into a normal vector text. So you can see it is now turning back into, now it turns into AutoCAD files, text which you can control from here. Like I said before, these particular normal lines, so you cannot use like move tools, copy tools on this particular image because this is raster design. However, the AutoCAD raster tools allow you to manipulate the rasters entities. So we have these RAM tools, which stand for raster entities manipulation, which I can temporarily convert the line into rasters line. I can reconvert this raster line into vector line. For example, I choose from here, I have RAM. I'm going to choose line. So I choose this line. So you can see it turns into red. So when I click this red line, so you can see it is almost exactly like a vector line, which I can now edit from here, which cannot use like before. So you can use these run tools. For example, I needed to create some regions, say circles. I would like to move it away. Right? So you can use something like here, which I can cut and so on. Right? So go back to my home, I can use copies and so on. Right? So if I want to turn back, so I just needed to select all these available RAM tools that I have selected, back to my raster tools, and here I have command which I can merge back this into a raster image, so you can see it is now turned back into a raster image. So you can temporarily manipulate this particular image into a movable rasters. Right, so that is basically the things that I would like to share with you today. So let's see if you have any questions. So we have questions from Abdul Hamid. So what is the best drafting electronic pad as to get raster image? All right, so this is based on my opinion. You can just normally use mouse, edit the entities, but if you need to draw, for example, if you need to use touch-ups, so that I believe you can also use drawing pads that you want, but I believe normal mouse is already enough that you can use for these raster tools. Right, so is there any question from you guys? Right, so for example, if you want to convert this one into vector line, right, and you want to see whether this line has been converted or not, for example, if I choose follow with it, so you see there's now 20 line. Basically, you don't want this as a raster image. So you can also see and turn it off from managing viewer. So any line that you have converted into vectors, so will only be shown. So on the rasters image, you can turn off from here. Right. So I believe no more question from you guys. Just a quick reminder about these raster toolsets. So rasters is a add-on tools inside of this AutoCAD, right? It is included inside of AutoCAD, which is the AutoCAD 7 toolsets. So, for example, if you buy the AutoCAD, so you also get the special toolsets such as the architectural, electrical toolsets, and also the raster design toolsets and many others, right? So once you install your raster design, so it will also install on some of these AutoCADs, for example, vanilla AutoCADs, map 3D tool sets, architecture tool sets, which related to the normal. Right, so that is basically what I want to share with you today. Thank you everyone for joining our free online lesson. And hope we see you guys again on our next free online lesson. Right, so thank you very much and have a nice day.